welcome to the General's Gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Rise of Nations. Here we are in the African watering hole.
Haipu.
It's actually pretty small though. Of all the times that we've casted this map, normally the water is actually a bit wider.
It does tend to be, doesn't it? Yeah, of course they are randomly generated maps, so yeah. But it does seem a rather small watering hole. If some of the animals are no doubt going thirsty, Machine, but we will not go thirsty for content. We hope this is going to be a pretty rough and stopping awesome game. And our players for today, playing as our Russians, will be Kaerunohito,
who apparently is one of the best players in the community, so that's pretty cool. His opponent is going to be as I lean forward, iRonikz. Oh wow, iRonikz. There's some bad puns in there.
Isn't it ironic?
Yeah, I realized that on the bottom right, where the scoreboard is, it's actually much easier to read in the top right corner for the spectator UI. It's going to be the Germans, even though that Germany wasn't unified until like 1850. So I guess rather he'll be playing as the Germanic states, or nation states or whatever. But anyway, let's not get too historical up in your grill. So, Russian starting with the level 1 civic. You don't actually have to upgrade that. So that means he can build the city straight away. Already has the commerce researched instead, where iRonikz as the German's going to have to actually unlock that one now, as we can see. So you do get a bit of an early game boost as the Russians with that civic upgrade. They also get extra attrition damage, a few other things. National borders are a little bit larger. Germany is a bit of an economic faction. I think probably the most significant thing is you get the building completion bonuses increased by 50%, which is actually more than you probably realize at first. Very quick temple though.
And my favorite part is probably knowledge. When you head into universities, you get that big knowledge bonus, obviously. I think it's 50 normally, so it'd go up to 100?
Well, it's probably 75.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, right, 50%.
It's 50%.
Yeah, it would be 75. Yeah, not 100%. Okay.
And let's see
big bonuses.
How much our players decide to invest in naval. We see a dock being thrown down already for Kaerunohito.
Nice.
Something like that. And
not bad.
Level 2 civic already. So as Russians, you can go that double civic very quickly. Let's see if he throws down a third city. Probably, because he has, look at his resource. He has enough food and timber. He can go for that if he needs to. And it will, of course, be the dock as well from iRonikz.
Good stuff. It's always interesting when you do have water involved, how our players decide to transition into that. It's probably some of our best cards, I think, for Rise of Nations have involved water of some kind, because it just adds another level of a strategic depth to an already incredibly strategic game.
Yeah, and it's just, ships are cool. Like, isn't it awesome just watching giant naval battles?
Yeah,
like, let's be honest.
That is true.
It's pretty nice to see. Good placement here. He has a nice forest. You always want to try and put your city within range of a forest and or a mountain if you can. That's probably within range of both. Maybe that's a little bit on the edge, but yeah, already having that boost. So let's see. There's already military here though for Germany, man. iRonikz, as his market, so does
Kaerunohito.
I'm sorry.
Kaerunohito. Loving it, Machine. Loving your attempts, and loving the fishermen coming out from both of our players. We won't see too much early aggression. Now the military has come out for iRonikz. It does give him the opportunity to go aggressive and start sniping down. And we do see a bark coming out as well here, so it does look like some naval aggression here, sniping down a few of those fishermen. Really cost-effective resource collectors there, collecting with the food and the gold as well.
Yeah, exactly. And so the bark, that's the light ship, so they're good against the fishermen in particular.
Wealth, yeah.
So he's going to have to evacuate those into the dock if he needs to. It still takes a while to actually kill them, but it will certainly force them off. And will Classical Age being unlocked here for Russians. German man a little bit behind, but that's okay.
Going for Classical, so very a tech-heavy style for him. Still hasn't got his level 1 military yet. Doesn't want to go through anything too major. And it does look like it'll cost him the... Actually, evacuating the fisherman now will cost him control over the water, at least for now. Does have the potential to come back into it later. Having run those fishermen away, you can actually garrison ships inside of the dock as they are constructed. So it's possible for you to get a nice big fleet out and then pop it on your opponent.
Yeah, you can spawn it inside of the dock, so you don't even have to reveal it. So it's always a bit of a mystery. And actually, what you can do, though, if you want to reveal how much your opponent is investing into their dock, because again, you don't know if he's going to have like 1 million ships in the dock. You can get the spy from the castle, and then you can put the informant on the dock, and that'll tell you how many units are garrisoned. So that's actually a good idea if you want to work out if your opponent is committing to the navy or not. But it looks like in this situation, the Russian doesn't actually have to. He can just really max out his 3 cities, maybe go for some land aggression, and just kind of concede the water for now, so long as he has enough of an impact outside of the water to make up for it.
So how are we looking for, do we see a temple out here for Kaerunohito? Do we see taxation upgrades as the main thing I'm thinking about with the amount of map control that he has?
I don't think there's a temple at all.
I don't see one actually.
No temple.
Wow.
He already has scholars though, where there isn't anything here for iRonikz. No knowledge income whatsoever. And on this map, it's probably a bit harder to harass the merchants than what you normally see. Normally on maps like Sahara, the merchant harassment and sniping is it's just a big factor throughout the game. So will actually be some navy units built. Barks and the triremes combined hasn't upgraded into the classical age ships just yet. Neither has iRonikz.
Kaerunohito adding on another commerce here as well. That does have his first military now, obviously, given the addition of these triremes. Triremes are obviously going to be really nice against the barks, but the barks are nice against the fishermen.
Yeah, the fire rafts then counter them, the trireme
the
in
triremes,
turn.
yeah.
So it's
a
basically
cool circular counter system.
big ship counter small ship counter fire raft. In case you don't know the system, fire raft counter big ship. It's really as simple as that. Bit less room for micro, I guess, than on the land. It's more just about unit preservation with naval battles, I guess, putting them inside of docks, get them regenerating, and just getting the right composition, catching your opponent off guard by them overcommitting to one particular unit. So
I guess the major micro is probably kiting fire rafts.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, fire rafts are pretty fast, so that's a pretty tough thing to do. So, other than that, it does. I think we see we have a Senate here for Kaerunohito. I think he just went Republic. It's just gone into Republic now.
So we'll give him the economy bonuses, which he does need, of course. Oh, I hear swords and stabbing and things. Where's that going?
I'm guessing on one of the merchant harassment. Yeah, up there, top right. Yep.
Oh, nice.
There we go.
Excellent
Solid stuff. Okay, so that's the silk merchant going to be going down here.
This is also
soldiery, which is the
the heavy infantry.
the heavy infantry for Germany.
This is where naval control comes quite important in terms of sending units across the water, because your units can of course transport over the water, but they can get sniped out pretty quickly if you're not careful. So it gives you better rotations, better harassment, but it looks like a massive naval investment here by the Russians. That's going to force him off completely.
Despotism being picked up here by iRonikz. He's looking that one in. A lot of barks here, but there's a double trireme on the field. So currently, probably the better... Oh no, about even here. Double trireme versus double trireme. So it's a pretty even engagement thus far.
Well, it's actually upgraded the Dromon.
Yeah.
And so on with land battles, you generally see players not bother upgrading to classical age units until they get medieval. So on the water can be the same, or you can see players try and commit to that. They're just getting outnumbered here. There's just far too many ships on the side of the Russians.
Yeah, far too many. Plenty of barks as well, which is important for sniping down those fire arrows. I think 4 seems to be ideal in this situation. Would be nice to see Kaerunohito back away a couple of those barks, see if you can get them repaired up, heal up inside of the.
Yeah, some of those are quite
You don't want to get
low.
them sniped down. They are quite low. I see him back away from this one. Do we see more sniping going on inside the base in terms of merchant harassment?
No.
Doesn't look like it. More scouts scouting away, of course. The Russians do have 100% increased attrition damage to units, which makes it harder for iRonikz to go aggressive in terms of the merchant harassment.
Yeah. Oh, so it was Despot for iRonikz,
Yes,
so we
it
can
was,
use
yeah.
that to harass with the supply that it offers. So looking at comparing the economies for a moment now, looks like actually iRonikz is ahead, despite the fact that he only has 2 cities. And is being pretty aggressive here with all of these Soldari, but the scout revealed it. So that's very important. That's going to give a little bit of time here for the Russian to maybe get some cavalry, some archers up or some ranged cavalry to counter that.
Yeah, barracks and a stable being thrown down on that 3rd city.
Man, there's 6 of them.
Medieval going to be done here for Kaerunohito, and iRonikz was going for it, cancelled it, and goes for it again here.
Yeah, so the Russians is already on medieval, so you can actually go straight for his crossbowmen, which should be able to counter those pretty hard. But I think we'll see iRonikz, the German, just wait until he has the medieval age, upgrade them, and then attack, so he doesn't get caught by having the inferior tech. So currently the water's in control of the Germans, but there's a lot of units docked inside of here, so that could change at any moment.
Yeah, it looks like the barks are actually healing up, so Kaerunohito doing a nice job of unit preservation.
Plus he is also, oh there we go, popping them all out now, upgrading to the medieval age naval units, and we see a couple of the cataphracts in here, so they can counter the crossbowmen if they need to.
Militia's being thrown down here by Kaerunohito. Looks like he's in a pretty bad position because he's starting to get collapsed upon. We'll have the option to upgrade these citizens into the militia if he gets in a really bad spot.
Yeah, but against that many heavy infantry, there we go,
yeah, wouldn't be
upgrading.
worth it, yeah.
So now they're the Vandals. Is there even much of an army at all? I don't think there is.
Not
Looks like
really.
he's committed a little bit too much in his income and his navy. That being said, though, Despot out of position, so not actually getting the supply down for now. It takes a bit more damage. And then the militia, they actually are attacking the heavy infantry now, doing a bit of damage, but definitely going to lose this city either way.
Should be sniping down the Despot here. That's the numero uno target. If the Despot goes down, that means there's no supply anymore for these troops.
But yeah, but I think they're just too fast. The militia wouldn't be able to catch him down. So long as there's, proper micro. The light cavalry is trying to, and actually he may do so. But now these militia are just being
Butchered?
slacked
I'm gonna
apart.
go with butchered.
Slashed apart, I was going to say. Yeah, butchered, I mean, that's a good way of wording it. They're being eviscerated by a very large German man with a sword. I mean, that's another way of wording it.
Who has fantastic control over the English language now, Machine? That is indeed you. Unfortunately, the city isn't quite far enough out so that the naval units will have any. Oh, they can help in this engagement. They're not going to do a ridiculous amount of damage, but they can definitely contribute from the sea. We should see the rotation in here from Kaerunohito. Should be using these naval units to get some damage down.
It's a strange choice going for the dock. I guess he doesn't want to overcommit to somewhere and then get caught out of position. It's a pretty safe target.
Yeah.
So long as, yeah, again, the Navy doesn't try and attack them. But comparing the economy now, I mean, that city really is punishing the income of Kaerunohito, the Russian. Oh, was that a bribe? Yeah, that was a bribe.
Sounded like it.
Yeah, I got the Vandals here.
Okay, nice. One squad of Vandals. That's not too bad. Doc's still getting assaulted here. And that will obviously give iRonikz the ability to build up a naval army, which it does look like he's doing now. Double Doc, in fact, for iRonikz.
Wow.
So really going into heavy naval production, wants to get control over these fishies in the water.
I mean, what he would have to worry about is if there's Gunpowder Age, and then you start seeing the bombard ships, because then they can actually level the city,
Yeah.
and then do some harassment damage. So by taking out the dock, it prevents reinforcements from coming, and it prevents that threat of those artillery ships, the bombard ships. So just playing it safe. Needs to also regen his infantry, but he can't do so until the city has assimilated, and then you can garrison them. Maybe get a forward barracks or something.
Okay, so the attack really has to come out here fast from Kaerunohito because the city's almost assimilated. It's very close.
Yeah, I think it's also he then wants to have reinforcements.
94%.
He can't send reinforcements across if he doesn't have control of the water. It's going to finish now.
Oh, 99!
Yeah, he gets it.
100, yeah, it does go down.
But there's actually a pretty big army here. Crossbowmen, the Rossini Lancers as well. Looks like a little bit outnumbered. Pops the decoys. The city is there, but there's nothing garrisoned it for the archers.
Fantastic unit composition here from Kaerunohito. The crossbowmen are great against this heavy infantry.
There's also plenty of militia. So he will be able to defend his city, but he suffered a fair bit of harassment damage. And also it means he's lost control of he's about to lose control of the water. So he held on. I mean, maybe it should have been worth just retreating. Because the fact that iRonikz lost a lot of his army actually puts him behind, well, it puts his army behind it, and maybe it'll compensate for the fact that he put some harassment damage on. It's kind of hard to say, but either way, control of the water, doing the harassment damage, looking pretty good. The income massively in the favor, at least for now. And remember, all the militia were focused down, so the villager count's going to be a little bit lacking on the side of the Russians.
I definitely agree with you there, Machine. And we do have the civic borders have been advanced here. Finally, iRonikz going for that additional civic, so we'll have the option to go for another city. Currently just on 2, and saturating them with citizens.
You know what's cool though is seeing someone actually take a city back, because often in Rise of Nations, once you lose a city, you pretty much just lose all momentum and just lose the game. So it's nice to see a bit of back and forwards action in terms of the city being recaptured and putting the flow of the game back in open territory, but raiding out with these Rossini Lancers, nice work. And there's no attrition, so it doesn't take any sort of harassment here.
Was Force March thrown down on those crossbowmen in time? Yeah, it does look like it happened, yeah. It was kind of late because the heavy infantry was closing in, and I was wondering where the Force March was, but it was thrown down just in time.
Very effective harassment. It's going to even things up quite a fair bit.
They're doing work.
They're light cavalry, so they're very fast too. Cheaper and faster to produce than regular light cavalry. So, but still, that's the 4th city now? Oh no, 3rd. 1, 2.
Yeah, it's only the 3rd. Only
yeah.
just got the civic upgrade in the last couple of minutes.
So the income's more or less even at this stage. Let's compare the library research.
Yeah, I don't really see. Even, there's no real big discrepancies here.
No, there really isn't.
Pretty much even economy on either side. Even with the citizen harassment that we saw coming out from iRonikz, took a lot of them down when they were transferred into militia.
But I think this play is putting him back in the game.
Yeah,
He's
great.
just getting so many down, sending up some vandals, but the Rossini Lancers can just avoid them. They're so fast. He's losing more and more of these villages.
This is so cost efficient.
Ouch.
Standard bonus. Not only are you're killing citizens which cost food, and you're also sniping the citizens that are mining the food, which makes it difficult to reproduce them.
Yeah, but the army is tiny in comparison, and there's good counters. There's knights against pretty much entirely just crossbowmen, so he may get punished for harassing. It's done good damage, but can he hold back this main attack? Just throwing down the temple now. And
make it harder to take down the city without any siege.
Yeah, nobody is on the Gunpowder Age just yet. I mean, at least he has a lot of these vandals. So heavy infantry, they do have pretty powerful damage, and they're only small cities. So you can take down small cities without siege. It's when you get large cities that it becomes much harder. Yeah. So the crossbowmen are on the way here, but I think this crossbowman army is going to get demolished by these knights.
Once the knights rotate in on this. I wonder how many... Oh, the crossbowman actually sniped down the despot. That's the dream.
He's getting very low here. Needs to disengage the despot, but then go in with his knights.
Knights are going to be running in. Oh, they're routing the crossbowmen as well. The despot survives this run, which means supply is still
despot
available.
Going back in.
No, despot,
He has to be careful with his positioning here, but I think he wants to use a forced march for the movement speed.
Yeah.
Very tense micro. And remember,
Despot's on 11 health.
The Russians have extra attrition damage, so losing the Despot would be extra punishing.
Yeah. Excellent kiting coming in here. Good stuff from iRonikz, but smart from Kaerunohito. He's stopping the push just by taking out the Despot. That's the threat here. The crossbowmen would ordinarily get collapsed upon by the knights, but that's not an option when your Despot's this low.
Plus, look, the knights have already taken a fair bit of damage.
So much damage from being outside the range of the Despot.
Maybe mixing in the supply would be nice, but just needs to heal up his army, so very impressive, because there was no way that army could have actually taken out that many knights and vandals, but now it looks like behind this, iRonikz he doesn't care. He's got the navy, the water control. He's got Gunpowder Age. He's building up his Colossus, so he is looking very strong.
Yeah, really nice position, and starting some more production facilities on that right-hand side on the third city, which is really important. Takes some time for your armies to walk around the watering hole, so adding on extra production facilities on forward cities is really important for reinforcing your army.
He can just walk across it though.
That is true, yeah. I mean,
Well, not
yeah.
walk. He can't walk across. He's not
Slide
Jesus.
across
He
it.
can't walk on water.
I forgot that iRonikz has control over the water now. I was thinking it was still in the hands of Kaerunohito, but iRonikz has full control.
Oh, look at that.
And bomb vessels as well. That means essentially iRonikz has the water now. There's no way a dock's going to be built up under fire from bombard ships.
And he can probably take out that city. Not sure about this one,
it'd
but
be
you can at
pushing it.
least get the temple and the university. Is that another harassment? Oh yeah, the Rossini Lance is going for the villagers constructing the Colossus.
Yeah,
That's
denying the
annoying.
Colossus, yeah. It's buying time if nothing else. So the despot's been healed up from the looks of things. He's up and ready to go again.
I wonder what government will see.
Yeah. These lances have additional damage against supply wagons as well, so that's something else to remember as we head later into the game, that iRonikz can use the lances to more quickly snipe down the supply of iRonikz. Kaerunohito can snipe down the supply.
Looks like there's just a lot more wealth and a lot more metal income for iRonikz. That's very important. That's where your knights come from.
It looks like cities in siege range as well.
Plus, then once the Colossus comes online, it's even more wealth. 30% wealth rate, commerce cap increase. Colossus is generally the most popular tier 1 wonder, mainly for the wealth, which is one of the most sought after.
Yeah, which is really important considering the caps that we see going on across the board here for iRonikz. Probably wouldn't hurt to get the Colossus and add on a commerce at the same time.
The Colossus, the castle has finished. Looks like there's actually no castle. Oh no, there is a castle here. Researching tactics, fantastic. I love that upgrade.
Nice.
The tactics is nice because it gives you extra armor radius. Well, it gives you, it buffs the armor that the governor and the generals give. So it just makes your troops have better stats, having extra armor, so long as they're fighting within the range of a
General
governor
or a
a
governor,
general. Yeah.
Which is definitely nice when you're on even upgrades, which is definitely what we're seeing at this point in the game.
Oh, they have more health as well.
Both of our players on the Gunpowder Age, essentially completely even across the board in terms of upgrades, and now actually even across the board in terms of upgrades, even civic, military, commerce, and science.
Yeah, so it looks like the governor also gets more health too. 163, I'm not sure about that. Has the Monarch. So the Monarch's going to give cheaper stable units. It also gives a buff to siege, and I think to cavalry as well. You need to check. Mounted units. Sorry, Blake. Mounted units in his radius have extra armor and attack. So
There we
definitely
go.
buffing the cavalry even further. And he's being barraged by the bomb vessel. There's a fair bit of crossbowmen, but again, it's only crossbowmen against now the heavy knights as the Colossus completed. Nice timing there. There is a castle behind it, so it's going to be a little bit harder to take that one. Building spies, he will have the spies for the bribes. Remember, Russia also gets cheaper spies, I think. Spies are half price.
Half price, man. Yeah. Which adds an additional threat in this situation. Not only do you have the castle there, you have spies throwing down bribes. It's much harder to avoid that when you're assimilating a city.
72 metal income against 200 wealth. Metal.
200 metal.
Likewise, 229 wealth against 135. So it looks like Kaerunohito is on the edge. Crossbowmen though on the side, they're getting healed by the senator as well. So one thing is behind him too.
Crossbow doing a really nice job here. Lance is coming through. Probably looking for the supply here.
Yeah, how low is the despot?
Can't
Monarch.
find him. The Monarch.
Oh, plenty of
Has
health.
a fair bit of health on 108 at the moment. Fair bit of safety, but crossbowmen in such a nice position. I really like the position of this castle.
That's pretty standard actually.
Yeah.
Where you see like good players place it. Because then
Place
if
it
you
behind,
charge
yeah.
in, the cavalry, the crossbowman can just jump inside of the castle. Plus the castle then gets does damage inflicted to the cavalry. Just has to be careful about overcommitting here. Pops a forced march as well. It's looking to snipe down as many as he can, but looks like the cavalry for now aren't really getting within range.
Yeah, cuts off a couple of the crossbowmen, but it might not be enough. Only snipes down about 2 there, I think, from the looks of things. So still several crossbowmen on the field. Another barracks going to finish here as well. Under fire from a tower as well as the castle.
But a lot of these farms aren't actually mining. But still, the food income is actually more for Russians. Has a catapult. Should be upgrading that any moment now. Sniping that university would be great with a bomb vessel if it's within range. Going for the temple as well. What would be really handy if he got the upgrade from the smelter that gives you extra range. I don't know if he has a smelter though. He's Germany, so he should definitely have those upgrades.
Did he throw down a smelter on that 3rd city?
Oh yeah, there's one.
There we go. Okay, yeah. Okay, so...
See, notice the metal alloys is cheaper to research because he's Germany.
Yeah.
Yeah, supply wagons gain increased radius, speed, and HP. So then you get a wider range of supply. It really helps out.
Yeah, so we're skipping right over the trebuchets and straight into the cannons machine. Definitely help out with the siege we have getting thrown down.
There's even a tower there as well.
Yeah, it's a lot of damage coming down onto these troops, but it's working. This city isn't mining, it's reduced.
He's going to be flanking with some Cossacks, I think.
You get a lot of additional damage here onto the cannons as well as any supply wagons. There's another... Is that a spy walking around in there?
The biggest weakness was that the bomb vessels couldn't actually get within range for the castle. But now there's the bombars, but the Rossini Lancers go for a flank. There is some of the heavy infantry here, but either way, throwing in the GG, he realized that, he wasn't going to be able to hold up. Once he lost this, he had no army, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was definitely going to be GG once he lost the castle, which was coming out at any moment. So, very, very nice game. And... That shows the strategy of African Watering Hole is Kaerunohito, whatever he's called, the Russian guy. He invested so much in a combination between A, the naval, and B, economy. And then Germany, iRonikz, he countered that by mixing up mainly his army, but also had economy behind that too. So when the army went for the attack, there wasn't really any defense there. Whereas... if there was a more passive game that went out for the long term, then we probably would have seen Russia pull ahead because of the water, because of the economy. So, very strategic game, always going to be outweighing your options. And also then scouting helps. So, if you scout your opponent has a big army, then you can adapt for that.
You got to see the unit composition to know what you have to field in order to counter that.
Yeah, so I feel like scouting is a big part of Rise of Nations, as it may not seem that obvious as something like StarCraft, where you're like, oh, he has a dark shrine,
Oh.
he has double starport, But yeah, scouting definitely very important. But a very well played game between these two players, and we had a blast. I just love this map. This is probably my favorite map to cast.
It's great. I really enjoy it. Yeah.
I don't really like playing on it because I have to think too hard, and I already struggle.
There's just too much stuff going on for Rise of Nations.
Yeah, but casting it is absolutely great. But anyway, that'll wrap us up for now. If you do want to support us, you can do so on Patreon. We are posting quite a fair bit now every day, essentially. So any support as a thank you for our constant uploads, I guess, you can do so there. And all the links for that and our Facebook and Twitter are in the description.
Thank you.
Thanks.